It was overwhelming. We went to MommyCon Chicago in 2014. Myself and Sarah Donish, if you're watching, and we came in not knowing what to expect. This was a new company. This was a new idea, and we thought we'd give it a shot. We did not get a break all day. We had one of our seamstresses who came by to give us water and bring us a bite of food so that we could relax for a moment. And it was a packed booth, and we realized that this was going to be something great, and people connected to wrapping, to woven wraps and baby wearing in particular. We demoed all day long, and it was awesome. We had so much fun.
There's so much nostalgia there because, 2014, it wasn't really that long ago, but in so many ways it is because you see these babies and they've grown up. If you hear of a company being, now is Tekhni 4 years or 5 years old?
5 years.
5 years.
Yeah.
So you hear of a company being 5 years, like, yay, congrats. Actually, I don't know if anyone knows this, but the statistics are really daunting. Female business owners that start businesses, I want to say it's over 80% don't make it past 5 years. Okay. And
sure,
that's a really sad and just, as I said, daunting statistic because as women business owners, Elisa is the mother of 4 children. Four children. She started Tekhni Wovens. Now she has Studio Tekhni. Their products are far beyond baby wearing. She does carriers, but then she also has a line of household products, like wonderful, just snuggly blankets. And you've made
bags, accessories, and moving beyond that, we're looking to do all sorts of more mainstream items and other pieces that will go beyond motherhood, baby and beyond. So, and that's what we're hoping to do and push towards that with Studio Tekhni as well, is embrace the textile aspect of it, the colors, the design, the feel that you know from Tekhni Wovens, and just take it to another level.
Yeah. And today, again, if you're just joining us, it's Baby Wearing Week, and this is our 3rd video in our week-long series. So we're going to be featuring the sling from Tekhni, Studio Tekhni.
Yeah.
Studio Tekhni, which is
brand.
brand new.
Mm-hmm.
And one of you is going to be able to win one, too. So make sure you're...
We have 2.
2?
Yeah, we're doing 2.
We get 2 winners?
Yeah.
Oh, that's even better.
Big time.
So we are going to be posting how to win in a bit, but make sure to like or give us hearts and share this video with friends. We're also here to answer any questions. Before we showcase the sling, I wanted to ask you, so what were those first baby wearing days like for you? Did this start with your first child, or
oh gosh,
how did it begin?
Yeah, so I started baby wearing with my first, Vince, who is now 10, and he's a 5th grader, and he is
How does that happen?
he's wonderful. I absolutely love him, and baby wearing in those early years got me through. I had my first 3 were very close together, 2 years apart. The first 2 on the dot, same birthday. So at one point I had a 4-year-old, a 2-year-old, and a newborn. And that was pre-Tekhni. That was, I worked outside the home. I had a corporate job, and I had 3 kids that I breastfed, and I wore them, and I did my best to keep an attached bond. I wanted to be close to them, and I needed to have my hands free when I had babies and I had toddlers roaming around. So those early days, utilitarian, maybe it depended on what I needed that day. With Vince, 10 years ago, you didn't have a huge selection of products out there, and they were more utilitarian. They weren't beautiful. They didn't have an air of fashion or like a modern edge to them. They had use, and they were to carry your babies, and that was about it. Mm-hmm. Also, because I am a bit more petite, I struggled with buckle style carriers. Anything that has buckles or straps or something that had fitted seams or edges, because I fall on the more petite edge of the spectrum for carriers, so things like that would overwhelm me. So for me, finding a carrier that worked, a wraparound carrier, which is, Tekhni's based out of wraparound style carriers, and ring slings work very well for me because it's fabric that's infinitely adjustable. It can be cozier. There's no, again, those buckles and straps to kind of get in the way. And for us, it worked. It clicked.
Yeah. So what drew you then from being somebody that used carriers and is a necessity of everyday life to becoming a artisan, I don't like the word manufacturer because so much of what you did, especially in the early years, was very much art-based and creative, and unlike so many of the other carriers at the time, you were touching on their creativity is the carriers that were available, and especially the wraparound style carriers, the woven wraps, everything was striped.
Yes.
And that was from an ease of use perspective, which in hindsight now you're like, oh, that makes sense. It's easier to follow along a stripe. How novel.
Yeah.
So what then made you go from like, I love this type of product to actually producing them?
Well, so my background is in art. I an artist, trained painter, actually by trade, if you will, in college and whatnot, and I was a graphic designer. I did marketing and design, packaging and other graphic pieces for a large corporate, not creative style company. Mm-hmm. And as someone who had that background in the arts, I felt like I was missing it. I missed that. I craved that need for art, and having a job and having young kids, it's hard to find something as a way to express yourself. For me, it ended up being carriers. I learned a little bit. Anybody who's watching this 10 years ago knows what the baby wear is. Mm-hmm. I found the baby wear, which was a forum style, pre-Facebook, forum style for people to talk about carriers and attachment parenting and some of these, I don't want to say fringe, but they weren't mainstream ideas at that point. Mm-hmm. And I learned that there were people who were taking some of their wraparound carriers and their cloths, and they were applying fabric dyes to them and turned them into these art forms. And it was something that I found enjoyable, and I was able to turn that into a business. Color Dip Studios was kind of my first foray. Mm-hmm.
Could you guys speak up?
Oh,
okay,
sure,
yeah.
absolutely.
I'm sorry, we're having like this intimate
I
conversation.
know it is. We
should.
should project.
We'll
we
project.
can both be loud. We can put our mom voices on.
Yeah, they want the camera a little closer.
Okay. All right. All right. I like it. All right. Well, we can definitely. We're going to continue the conversation a bit. Thank you for letting us know that we need to speak up. And after the conversation, we'll get into the sling. So, Color Dip Studios. So, it's actually funny because we indirectly connected that way, because back in the day, I actually sold carriers through a blog, and we had these natural, they called them natties. I don't even know if anyone refers to it as that anymore.
It means it's without color.
Without color.
Yeah.
So we had these natty wraps and some hybrid style carriers that aren't even around anymore. And we wanted to breathe some life into them. So here comes Elisa. I had never met her. She was just an internet friend. And she would then create these beautiful masterpieces of color.
And that's, Color Dip Studios. It was a way to express myself while still using utilitarian products. I still needed my wraps for every day. I still needed my carriers. And it became an accessory. It's hard for people to understand that when you're looking at more utilitarian buckles that are more plainer variety, but as somebody who was wearing a nursing shirt and jeans every day, yoga pants, sweats, no time for makeup or to do your hair, your outer piece, this wraparound carrier, became a beautiful, almost a scarf. Like, it was a way to kind of express with color and to make you feel pretty. which is, it's hard. It's hard in those early days as a new mom or just a mom in general. I mean, I'm 10 years in and man, there's some days. It's hard. It's very hard. So this seemed to resonate with me. And eventually I hit a point where I thought, gosh, I've been working outside the home now, you know, with these 3 very young children, and it's so hard to keep up. What if I could turn my love of these carriers and this design work? I was able to do some design work for some companies overseas and some domestic companies. And I thought, what if I just do it myself? My youngest, or my oldest at that time, was starting kindergarten, and I wanted to be there when he got off the bus. So I thought if I could figure out a way to turn this into a career, to pay bills and be happy, I could also make myself more available to my kids. So I quit my career, and I took my life savings and started Tekhni. And if it didn't work, there was a plan, you know, it involved ramen noodles and mac and cheese and turning off cable, and you know how all that works until you get a job. But it worked, and Tekhni took off. We needed more space, we needed more employees, and we just, it's been an adventure, it's been a journey and an adventure since then. And now here we are, 5 years.
Here we are.
5 years.
It flies by, but at the same time, those days are kind of long, aren't they?
You say 5 years, but I'm like, gosh, I feel like it could be decades.
It could be decades, or it could be minutes. And I have to ask, because as the fellow mom that left the career to, you know, do the thing I was passionate about, somebody once told me, like, you need to give yourself permission to take a day off. You need to give yourself permission to go to that recital, because you can get so into the work, and it's that tunnel, and getting out of it can be difficult. So have you been able to find that ability to truly, you're there for school drop off? Are you there for school pickup too?
I am. I'm there for
Wow.
both of those on days where I am not traveling. I work more than I ever thought I would. And I know that I have not found that mythical work-life balance, and you know that.
It doesn't.
It's very, very difficult. I wouldn't change it for the world. Ups and downs and everything that it is. I do have, while I work quite a bit, I also do have control over my schedule, and I get to meet so many people. The number of people that have crossed my path, the people I get to teach about baby wearing every day, it's awesome. It's absolutely awesome. This weekend we were at a family party, and I was able to help someone, a cousin and her new baby, how to use a ring sling. And this baby, she just snuggled in, and then 3 minutes out, completely out, passed out. And oh my gosh, it was magical.
Do we have a baby? Oh, perfect. We love sleeping babies.
Yeah.
Oh, well, talking about sleeping babies.
Yeah, right there.
Do you think he'll want to be worn? Do you think he'll go from sleeping to
Can I
sleeping?
give it a whirl?
Alright. Well, I think we should show the
Should we
sling.
do it? Can we
Yeah.
talk about it? So how we got here. So absolutely. So Studio Tekhni is sister brand to Tekhni Wovens, and the flagship piece is the sling. It's a traditional style ring sling made from woven fabric. Our first collection has these 5 colors that you see kind of hanging out in the background here. They come in these lovely little backpacks here.
They're really cute. I
Like
think
this. And they come, let's see, I wanted to get, where's the mint one?
here.
You
I
it.
have the
right there.
mints. I gravitated
Choose
toward
the
that. I
mint.
purposely wore all black.
So open that one up. They come to you already threaded, which is the nice part. I'm going to show you guys how to thread one here on
It's
camera.
an important piece, because if you will need to unthread it at some point.
But this right here,
It
just like
comes.
this, they come absolutely threaded. They come with instructions.
Also, I
Your card.
recognize Matt York.
Who's that face?
Matt York. Oh, there's a whole lot of Matt York in
Whole
here.
mat in there.
Hey, that dad Matt. Look at you. And Noah.
And you can find instructions on our website, studiotechni.com. You can find it on all of our social media pieces. We're working on all of our videos as well. So there'll be a lot of easy tutorials for you to go. But literally, this is how it comes to you out of the package. Now hold on to this.
Yeah,
and
and
I'll
it's
show-
beautiful. So it's a cotton and linen blend, right?
Yes.
And each of the ring slings also come with a variety of different rings. So
So we have, that's a silver, shiny
it's
silver.
shiny silver here.
And this is like a matte. Can you see that in there?
Yeah.
And that is a matte, like a smoke gray. And we also
There's
have.
also, this is my favorite. I know I'm not supposed to pick favorites. However,
Picking favorite children.
right, it's picking favorite children. Some rose gold.
So we have. Can you guys see that rose gold right there? It's lovely.
Just imagine that with your rose gold jujubes, okay?
Perfect. And it is a spot on match. We
It's a
took pictures
spot on match.
at Mommy Con Orlando. We absolutely loved it.
All right.
Yeah, and someone said that they found your booth and found you guys through MommyCon Orlando.
Oh,
Thanks.
awesome! It was a pleasure to meet you guys. We met so many people in Mommy Con Orlando when we traveled through the country.
And they're saying you guys are gorgeous.
Aw, thank you.
And the chairs are
We
amazing.
showered, we did. I know, I showered this morning. I did my hair. I mean, by doing my hair, I washed my hair. I know. I was like...
Someone said I've never tried a ring sling because I have a shoulder injury. Is there a way to wear it that reduces the like the stress on your shoulder, or would I just wear the other side?
You might, yeah, I would say that
Yeah.
that would probably be a good idea to wear the other side, and we can find ways to balance some of that weight because of how you have the ring sling. It's a one shoulder carry, but where you actually carry your baby can rotate around your torso. So finding that place that's a good counterbalance, wearing on your more on your hip, that's going to counteract which shoulder that is, or wearing more towards the front, or if that's more comfortable for you as well.
Yeah. I naturally just gravitate towards just threading ring slings.
Yeah,
Like,
well, that's the thing. We can both do it. So
Yeah,
you can
we'll
see
both
of
do
us.
it. Because everybody does have a slightly different style.
Absolutely.
This shoulder here is you'll possibly
gathered.
you'll hear so it's gathered, but you'll hear people say, what type of shoulder style is this? This is gathered. There's also things like pleated. And gathered, what's really nice is I think that it's probably the most versatile because it'll cup your shoulder no matter what size person you are.
Yes, absolutely. And so I guess I can also talk about a little
Yeah.
bit more about what's
While
going
she's
on.
doing that, I'll do this so you can see both angles.
Perfect.
They're saying these are so elegant.
They really are.
nice.
But
Guys.
they're also like you don't have to get dressed up. You totally can be dressed down, like yoga pants and a t-shirt.
Yes, I mean that's what we're talking about. It's trying to, because this is going to be your outer accessory. It's a way to make yourself feel pretty in your everyday. And they're very simple. It's, I don't know if you can tell from the camera. So it's a herringbone weave. It's a cotton linen blend. So it gets a little bit of a shimmer on there, and it also helps with your support. Helps with breathability too.
Yeah.
And
And these are these straight out of the package too?
straight out of the package.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one that you have is straight out of the package right here.
Yeah.
So it comes off. This one is one wash.
Oh wow. Yeah. And I will say to all wearers, whether it's a ring sling or a soft structured carrier, the difference between a carrier out of the box and then the second, third, fourth wear or washing is tremendous. So if you're like, I don't know why it's not as cuddly as I want it to be, that's because you need to wear it, you need to wash it, and they break in really nicely.
How do you wash it with the ring?
So you
Oh,
just
throw it
just in the washing machine. If you want in the dryer, sometimes I say put a sock over the rings just so it doesn't bang around on the dryer. But it's not going to hurt the dryer. It's just going to be loud. That's
Right,
all.
exactly. Another thing I do too, especially if you have an old washer and dryer, is stick it in a pillowcase.
Oh yeah, you can do that too.
Yeah,
think
I do
that's
that with all my carrier, soft structured.
so they don't get twisted around the edges either.
Exactly.
But yeah, it's simple. It's wash and dry. It's being used with babies, so it's going to get pooped on. It's going to get spit
Yes.
up on.
True.
You can use it as a burp cloth. It's going to get dragged around in the dirt, and it's totally fine. Just throw it in the washing machine.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
I was going to say, is there something coming up on us? So they're 90 inches. They come threaded. We're going to start and show you guys how to thread. So it's very generously cut for a large variety of body types. As you can see, we have our rings on one end, and we have the fabric on the other. So Exit just went ahead and she kind of corded that up, gathered it up however you want, because we're going to pass it through both rings, like that. And then we're going to split those rings and we're going to put it back through. So it's like those 80s style belts. And if anybody here, we will post a link on the Studio Tekhni page, again, for Amy Wraps Babies. And she talks about, she has a nice tutorial on comparing it to those, 80s or 90s style belts. So once we have that through, that's the one point of adjustment you have on ring slings. There's no buckles, there's no straps, there's no snaps. This is it. This is the only point of adjustment you have. It's super easy. It doesn't change between newborn and preschooler. And these are good from 8 pounds. They've been tested from 8 to 45 pounds. So it really is going to be from newborn and beyond.
Yeah.
All right, so we have it threaded here. And you can see if you were watching Eggs, she was just kind of fluffing this a little bit in between the rings.
No,
it's
I
just a
can't
natural.
help it. I've been
It's
around carriers
natural.
for so long, and I like to I always adjust mine a little bit extra before I put it on, because I know how much space my babies take. It's one of those things that becomes a little more intuitive once you start wearing.
You get a feel for your
Right,
carriers.
you get a feel for it. So I could tell just based off of this, like, I want my shoulder, and here it's actually, I want less than my hip, because I know this is a smaller baby.
Super tiny.
Super tiny.
Super itty. So you can see we're just fluffing that in between the rings because we want to make sure that the fabric doesn't get caught and fold over itself. And you want to make sure the 2 edges, and those are called rails, you're going to find those on the outside of your fabric.
Yeah.
There we go, just like that.
Just like that. So those are your 2 rails.
Perfect. All right. So once we have that, I actually need to adjust this a little bit more.
And are you gonna do a right shoulder or left?
I do mine on the left shoulder.
Okay, so
Are
I'll
you
do
good
mine
with
on my right then.
Okay.
All right.
So, and also deciding which shoulder it's going to be at. So if there is some sort of injury or a way that you want to counterbalance it, that's one way. One way I ask people is, how would you naturally, if you had a toddler with you, where would you carry them? If you were
Which
carrying
hip?
them on your hip. I personally like to carry, I'm right-handed on this hip, so I put my rings on my left shoulder right there because it mimics that natural, that natural feel that we have when we're going to carry our babies.
Yep. And it doesn't really have to do if you're left or right-handed. However, if you're planning on doing a lot of writing, then you would most likely want to do the opposite shoulder, because
So you
otherwise
can have
it
it free.
interferes. Exactly.
So I'm just going to put it through that right, and it's going to go over my head. So really, it just turns into this sash right here. We're like Miss America. We're like Miss
We are
America.
Miss America. I'm taking my vest off just in case I wound up being the one that gets to wear
Oh
each.
my gosh, I'm scared to wear this itty bitty baby. All right, he's gonna wake up and go, "You are not mom."
Right, you are
Probably
not
would.
mom. Yeah, and I can tell right now that I tightened the bottom rail to where I wanted it, but this top rail here is too loose. And you can do adjustments once baby's in, but again, I'm of the variety that likes to try to adjust it.
Yeah, as much as you can
beforehand.
adjust beforehand, and once you have it adjusted for you and the baby,
Yeah.
once you take it off, you just hang it on a hook and it's right there and it's ready to go next time. You can see this inside rail that we had, this connects to this top piece, right by, it'll be by baby's neck. So when Exa wants to adjust that, we just pull that. You see how that moves across? And the same thing, the outside rail connects to underneath, and that's where the baby's legs are gonna be. So we just pull back and forth. But we're gonna adjust, we just want a nice little bit.
So are we gonna be wearing baby on our hip, or are we gonna have them more placed towards the front of our body? What, just for
Let's see.
our audience to know, because there are
Yes.
a couple different carrying positions you can use with ring slings, which some people don't know. They think, oh, it's always just gonna be baby on your hip, but really, is baby smaller, you'll have them directly on your chest, then they can move over to your hip. Do you have an opinion on back carries, just in case the question comes up?
Because it probably will. Back carries, in theory, are as safe as a front or hip carry because it's the same exact way that you're wearing your baby. It just rotates around your torso. We would recommend back carries for more advanced wearers, though, who are able to feel their way through a child who's going to be on their back. Simply because you don't have the visual cues that you have when a baby is right here in front of you. So it is more of a carrier in a pinch, I would say, for a back carry, but some people love it.
I know, some people do.
Someone said, "What? You can back carry with a ring sling?"
Well, think about it this way, because if the baby's right here, all we're doing is we're just rotating it to the back. That's it. And baby's going to sit here instead of sitting here. It just rotates around your torso. That's it.
Someone said they would love to see hips, so maybe do one hip and one chest.
Sounds good. All right. I'll do the.
How about you take the real baby?
Okay, and I'll have them on my chest. You do that.
And I'll do the hip. All right.
It's probably too small for a hip.
So also, in terms
Show
of where
the
we
baby.
recommend putting
Close
babies,
up.
I would say when babies are super little,
Nice.
newborn to maybe 3-ish months, I would recommend keeping babies closer to your chest and your torso right here. They don't quite have the same head and neck control that an older baby would have, and because of that, it's easier to keep them here where they can lay on your chest and they can use that for support. As babies get older, they can migrate a bit more towards your hip and have their arms out and such, just because they are older and they do have more of that body control and tone. Does that make sense? Is he like cool and sweet?
I just.
Can I
This
sniff
is.
him?
Yeah, it smells so good.
Get out.
I know.
cannot.
It's like but there is that moment, then they lose it though, and you want to believe it's still there, but there's just something. It's newborns and puppies. Newborns and puppies.
Tony
Tony doesn't smell like this anymore.
No.
He smells like
It smells like apple.
toddler applesauce and Cheetos or something. I don't know. All right, so we have 2 different babies. Well, you can see, so Eggs and I, we both got our ring slings ready. We're going to start with your rings. You're going to start them a little bit higher on the shoulder here. I like to start a bit higher than lower, simply because when you go to adjust, one of the most common mistakes we see is just that there's too much room. You overestimate how large this baby is going to be. And then when you go to adjust, those rings have a tendency to shift and fall. So this makes sure that those rings stay nice and high and out of baby's way. So I'm going to start with rings high up here. And I'm going to take my Oliver.
You got Oliver.
Hi, Oliver. Hi, Ollie. I'm going to put baby in a high birthing position just like Exa had done. And you're kind of legs in, sort of.
His legs are so tiny.
He's super, super
I
tiny.
haven't fully adjusted him, but I know that he's safe, but I'm not going to take hands off because I still need to do my adjustments. But because he was sleeping, I just want to make sure he gets back into a cozy position before
sway. We're gonna
before I don't want to rock the boat too much, so to speak. So I'll get him nice and snuggled in, and then I'll start doing my adjustments as Elisa does hers.
So we have our baby in a high birthing position here, and I'm going to reach through the bottom, just like this, and I'm going to welcome baby's legs in, one at a time. And this just helps so I can kind of guide where baby's legs are at. My hand is still under their bottom. I'm just going to adjust to go on the outside here. And we're going to direct baby down towards my hip. So they're going to sit in this fabric like a little hammock. And that's a great way. Yep.
Oh, with an older toddler or taller baby, will the legs hang out?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So you can see this baby represents like 6-ish months.
That's like
or
a
so.
6 month. This is Ethan's
2
months.
And if
He's
babies
still
are
2.
super,
I was about
super-
to say 3, and then I
He just turned 2 months.
2 months.
and if they're very, very new, they may still pull their legs up into that froggy newborn position, and that's fine. You can just put their legs in that natural position in the pouch part there. You want to make sure they're not sitting on their legs, but they're sitting in the fabric, and their legs are froggy inside. But these babies here he's just enough to be outside, and
Just
this one
enough.
definitely is as well. So as toddlers get bigger, they will almost sit on your hip and they'll be down. You'll want that fabric to extend right from their knee all the way up to their neck at this point. And we're just gonna rotate just slightly to get baby on my hip like this. That's all I wanted.
I spent so many days with Luella in a ring sling on me.
Oh, because it's so easy. And then when we go to tighten, so you can see we have a little bit of fabric here and a little bit here. That inside rail, we're just going to pull up and away. And you see how that tightens across? And the same thing on the bottom. That is going to tighten underneath the legs. So they are really locked in to this, if you guys can see right here. It's just like a little baby hammock. And that's it. I mean, they sit in here. You can adjust your shoulder off of your neck if you'd like. You can have it more down on your arm. You can place it higher up on your shoulder if you want more mobility. But that's it. Like, it's super easy. You're putting baby just in this hammock, and they're just going to follow you with wherever you need to go.
Mm-hmm.
And the tail here, so options you can use for a tail.
Okay, yeah, we can talk about the tail.
So for a younger baby like this, you can kind of roll it and you can put it underneath that top rail and you can almost make, it's like a little headrest.
A little headrest.
Max is going to do the full thing so we could do that too. Just like this.
And I actually never did this with my ring slings, but I saw it become more popular, probably in the last couple of years.
Just like this.
Someone is new to the Facebook Live, so they're asking what brand slings are these?
Oh, these are, everything we're showing is Studio Tekhni. And this ring sling is priced at $88, which is a really great price point. You're getting a, you'd still call it a woven wrap style ring
Yep.
sling, right?
Mhm.
Because
Absolutely.
it's
woven.
it's woven. And is this a herringbone?
It
Or
is. It's a herringbone that
so you
has
can kinda
a
see.
linen weft and it has a cotton warp. So you get the strength and the support of the linen, but you also get the softness and the cush of the cotton that you're going to get in there.
And it's so snuggly and it's very supportive.
They say they know you're going slow to show us how to put it on, but how fast can you do it once you are used to it?
5 seconds.
10 seconds. I can do
yeah,
it right now for
do
you.
it right now. Yeah, I mean,
So
Especially
we'll do a
because
stopwatch.
you guys have it threaded already.
Oh,
Right. Well,
so we
even
can do all of this.
unthreaded, I mean, unthreaded,
We
you
just
can
do
do it in under 30 seconds. But here, we'll do a stopwatch.
Well, I'm also going to show you guys, so to take baby out, I'm
Yeah.
always keeping hand under baby. We're just pulling up and out. Because again, it's just that belt. This is the one point of adjustment. So I'm going to take baby out.
Yeah.
We're not going to do speed loading with the newborn.
No. But I'm just, and this isn't even, this isn't her going the fastest she can. This is just how long it
Normal
would
speed.
take, normal speed, after probably the second or third time you've used a ring sling.
So this is,
So-
so it's threaded,
It's threaded.
and
so,
I had it on the chair.
and I'll start. So,
right.
and again, she's not rushing. This is just realistically.
You
The
have
time
somebody
it
that needs to
takes.
go up, and you need to get out the door. Go like this. I'm
She's
gonna
just making sure
free
on the
grab
shoulder
my baby.
where she wants it. And just something to note
Right.
too is that she's positioning the rings just slightly behind where they're going to land. That way when she does the adjustments, the rings land in the place she'd like. And then she's
we're
good
ready
to
to
go.
go.
Yeah, so 25 seconds. And again, that was with the sling on the chair. It's grabbing baby. And it doesn't need to be like perfect, right? Like you make the adjustments afterwards. But once baby's in, that's all you
And
need
you're all
to be
set.
hands-free.
They can't go anywhere. You can see it's just like a hammock. Their bottom is here, but the fabric itself is tucked under their bottom, like in between both of us here. And you can see, he looks so snuggly. I'm jealous. So you can see how the fabric also across our back, it helps distribute the weight, so it's nice and comfortable.
Are they comfortable for toddlers as well? I have an almost 2.5-year-old who is 29 pounds.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
100%.
Very much so.
And they are wider cut. They're longer as well because toddlers will have a tendency to take up more length. And width-wise, they measure in at 28 and a half, I want to say,
Yeah.
for width. So they have
But
a
it's
nice
not
generous width.
overwhelming. Like, Ethan's pretty small. Is he, how much do you think he weighs now?
About 10 and a half
10
pounds.
and a half pounds. So actually, he's the size of some newborns. If you think about it, there's some bigger newborns.
Yeah.
these
Oh,
days.
yeah.
I mean, 10-pound baby, we hear that all the time.
But you can
But
see,
you can see
not,
it's not like we're dealing with tons of fabric. We're like trying to tuck it in all the places.
and I have, I mean, because Tony's like 2.5.
Mm-hmm.
So I have my youngest is definitely a toddler, and he is about those same stats. Maybe 28 pounds, although at this point, I don't know.
Right.
And we use ring sling every day to go on school runs. What's wonderful is because toddlers, especially, they want an up, down, all the time. So I have a baby that's here, that's hanging out. I can just go ahead, release this, and then I can take baby down. And he can go run off wherever he wants to go see his brothers and his sister. And then when that dog barks at him from that house down the street, he comes running back to me and says, "Mommy, I want uppies." And then I can grab him again, and I can throw him back in the ring sling. And 10 seconds later, we're on our way. And that's it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's super easy, and it is comfortable. The linen and cotton weave, it gives it that support, especially from the herringbone.
Yeah. It's really, really snuggly. And 2 of you get to win one. and all of you can buy one, of course.
I would like to see a tail tuck again.
Oh,
Oh,
sure,
yeah.
absolutely. Here, let me adjust this.
And are
so we
they
have
all
baby
the
closer.
same length?
Yes, they're all cut at one length, so I believe it comes in, when we've measured some of them, because they're over 90. I want to say it's like 93 inches or so. So you can see, they're very generously, there's a nice generous length to them. If you want to, if it's too overwhelming for you, you can do a wash on hot, a dry and hot, which can help with some of the length. In addition, you can always hem some up. You could wrap it around your rings. There's a lot of different options that you
And
have.
Alisa was mentioning earlier on, she's on the petite side. Do you want to share what your height is, just for perspective? Or
Probably like 5'1", maybe.
5'1", right? And I think with I'm wearing a little bit of heel right now, and I'll untuck this piece here.
Someone just said,
I'm
I'm
probably
5'1", would I step on it?
No,
you won't step on it, and there's a lot you can do with the tail. So I actually used an extra small ring sling because when I was when I had my kiddos, the only way really to get ring slings was to get one custom made. It was really a challenge to get one,
And you had to tell them how
you
long.
You had to
and
tell
you
them
didn't
how
really
long,
know.
and I had
I'm
bought
showing you guys how
scrap.
to tuck that piece.
I had bought scrap of a woven wrap in order to make mine, and mine was an extra small. And I remember my tail coming to like here. It was super short. But once you get the hang of using a ring sling, and the learning curve isn't a tremendous one with ring slings, is you'll develop a preference of how you like to keep your tail. Like you can have it like this.
You can
some people
wrap
wrap
around
them.
your rings as well.
Some people
That's
put it
another
under
option.
baby's bottom
Yeah, I was
here.
gonna say you can
and
use
then
it.
tuck under their little leg.
Some people will wrap if they have extra tail,
Yeah, I mean,
such as this.
I've
But
seen some cute little knots too, where it like
there's like a rose finish.
there's
that
a
people have
rose
done
finish.
now.
Like people get really creative with them.
But it can also be a secondary pass as well. So
That's
this is
true.
something where if you have this extra length, and I've done this too, it can now go straight down. It can go under baby's bottom, and you can just tuck it back right here.
Yep.
And then you make
But like
Cool.
breathing the.
And yes, price point is $88. They are available directly from StudioTekhni.com. You can also get it at one of our wonderful authorized retailers
There's some awesome
nationwide and in
ones.
Canada. I think we have 21 or 22 retailers. And you can find a list if you go online, also through Studio Tekhni. We have it listed through our Instagram, we have them there. We also have, of course, on our website too. So definitely support independent retail. We love that. We love all of our stores and all of our retail partners.
Yeah, they're pretty awesome. And I have to say, I'm so excited about this sling. I got to feel it when I was in Orlando, but I didn't get to wear it, and it's love. Oh,
pretty
it's
nice.
so snuggly.
And
there's a
look,
big-
the rose gold.
The rose gold is so good.
It
I know it
matches.
does. It matches the watch. Gotta get that. Oh, it's so good. Great job, Alisa.
Thank you.
So if you want to win one, make sure that you're giving this a heart or a like, and share the video with your friends. We're giving away 2. And Michelle, who has been reading our questions throughout the video, she's going to be posting a blog shortly that'll showcase our favorite features about the carrier, as well as a tutorial of how to use it, and of course, how to win. So tune in later today. We're going to be doing another carrier at 2 p.m. And we're so excited that Alisa came out to our offices. This might be the only real baby and real founder that's with us, like in person, but we're so appreciative.
Well, thank you for having me today. We're very excited. If you have any questions, let us know, and make sure to find us on Facebook, Instagram, and then online.
Bye.